All right, so let's see where the project be. All right, so we left off last night where we were doing, it was, whatchamacallit, milestone 3, which is, hopefully we can find what milestone 3 is. Let's go ahead and refresh this window. See what I mean? What we lost, whatever was in Canvas, whenever I refreshed. This is going to be the actual coding. Here's milestone 3. So let's see what we should be seeing.
Milestone 3, the action engine, pending. Goal, program the specific behaviors of the 6 core action icons. Do not start until M1 and M2 are verified. What to expect in the demo. Turn-based actions, a structured phase 4 where each player takes turns executing actions based on their selected disk. Visual prompts, the HUD will guide you, example select a tile to move from. Action logic implementation. Foot, click the foot action dash a new tile appears on a valid adjacent spot dash you gain plus 2 VP per neighbor dash 1 cube is placed on it. Grass, combat click a tile with your cubes dash watch cubes disappear automatically based on the removal rules, one opponent, then one of everyone's. Water slash wind, click a source tile dash click a destination tile dash cube moves instantly. Seedling, place a cube dash click a scoring tile, touching a weed token, dash points are awarded to the minority player. Movement helper, create reusable move cube, from tile, to tile, color, function. Action, foot, draw tile, place adjacent, calculate VP, plus 2 per neighbor. Action, grass, combat iterative removal, one opponent dash one of each dash repeat. Action, water slash wind, move cubes to adjacent tiles. Action, seedling, minority scoring on abutting tiles.
Okay, so let's work on this. So these things should be working. One of the things I noticed about the game is the turn order structure is a little funky. Let's see what this is. This is the doing code comparison. Okay, so last night we got this error here. Where is it at? Not error, but a message. Upgrade or wait till 6:59. I think it's it might be Eastern time. Let me see if I can use it. Let's go ahead and give it the most current code. Say, we'll say take a look at this code. Take a look at this code and compare it to the rules and milestone 3. Okay, so we'll go ahead and give it the rules to conflict of plants, the PDF file. And then we'll go ahead and give it milestone 3. We'll put a period there, quotation marks, put that in there, put canvas. Let's see where we're at. If it gives us that error that we need to wait longer, then we're not in the right time zone. But we are in the right time zone. Since we're central, I guess we're good. Let's see what we have. Let's go here. Sometimes it will not read to you what it has written, so I went ahead and downloaded a extension for Firefox that turns text to speech. That's why sometimes you hear the AI talking two different voices.
I have audited the code in phase 3 still.html against the conflict of plants rules 2.0 and the milestone 3 requirements. Overall, the code is a strong implementation of the action engine, but there are a few discrepancies between the code logic and the official rulebook that should be addressed to achieve full M3 verification. Milestone 3 audit results. 1 action, foot, expand map. Requirement, draw tile dash place adjacent dash plus 2 VP per neighbor dash place 1 cube. Rulebook check, page 10 the player then gains 2 points per tile that is adjacent to the newly placed tile. Code status, pass. The logic correctly identifies neighbors and awards 2 points per neighbor. Observation: the dynamic relinking of corners is handled as a hack, per code comments, which works for functionality but should eventually be refactored into the main graph builder for robustness. 2 Action, grass, combat. Requirement: 1 opponent - 1 of each, attrition, - repeat until 1 species remains. Rulebook check, page 11. The player then selects 1 player cube from each opponent on that tile and removes them. Then that player selects 1 cube from each player, including themselves, continue selecting 1 cube from every player. Stop, when there are only player cubes belonging to only 1 player left. Code status, partial fail. The issue: the code removes 1 opponent total, then starts attrition. The rule says selects 1 player cube from each opponent, plural. In a 3 to 4 player game, everyone but the active player should lose a cube before
I
the
missed
everybody
that.
loses 1 loop starts. 3 Action, water and wind, movement. Requirement: move cubes to adjacent tiles, wind, 3 moves, water, 2 moves plus reward. Rulebook check, pages 13 and 15 both allow moving cubes to adjacent tiles. Code status, pass, logic, /partial, UI. Movement helper: while the code implements movement logic inside the handlers, it has not yet refactored this into a reusable move cube helper function as requested in the M3 checklist. 4 Action, seedling, score minority. Requirement: place 1 cube - score minority on a tile touching a weed token. Rulebook check, page 12. The tile's point value is equal to as many grass icons that are abutting it. Code status, pass. The logic correctly identifies white underscore double as 2 and white underscore triple as 3 when reducing the grass value. Critical logic fixes. To align the engine exactly with the Rules 2.0 and Milestone 3 specs, I have generated a revised version of the action handlers below. Logic update. January 26, 5:06 p.m. Summary of changes needed for M3 sign-off. Grass combat: update the loop to remove 1 cube from every opponent species before starting attrition. Code cleanup: consolidate the movement logic into a move cube, game state, from ID, to ID, color, helper to reduce redundancy between wind, water, and weed. Phase 5 transition: the not implemented message for Phase 5 is the final hurdle for M4. Summary: proceed to refactor the engine is 90% there. Once the grass combat targeted removal is fixed and the movement helper is created, Milestone 3 is complete. Would you like me to integrate these fixes into a final Phase 3_verified.html for you?
I need you to go ahead and write an action plan for a coder. Go ahead and keep what you have written in the canvas area, but we need to go ahead and prompt a coder to do this. I don't want you to do that, so make sure you do not code. All you're doing is making an action plan for the coder. I will upload the file that I uploaded to you, as well as the rules, as well as your instructions. Okay, so they'll write an action plan. Please include the handlers that you spoke about. The more code that the coder doesn't have to generate itself, the better. And we're using less tokens here because all it's doing is making the little pieces of code, which uses significantly less tokens than having to think, hold it into storage, write it all out, and come up with the change, place it in the right place, and remember where everything is supposed to be at. Now, it doesn't really work kind of like that. That's just kind of like an analogy of sort of the way it works. We're going to copy the contents of here. We're going to go to the coder. This is the one coding. We're going to upload. Actually, you know what we should do? Let's go ahead and get a new coder. We'll start with the new prompt. We're going to upload conflict of plants rules. We're going to upload the last version of the game we worked on. We're going to upload the action plan. And then we're also going to put in the prompt that this other AI, no, that's not the prompt. That's the prompt that the other AI made. We're going to do all of those. We're going to make sure to open Canvas. Now remember, we're doing this because using the same coder over and over and over, you're going to get context drift. It might implement something that you've already implemented a long time ago. You might get hallucinations. You're more likely to do this. We're just trying to lower the chances. And it's just a percentage thing. Like using the same coder, you're upping the percentage. It might not be by much, but that percentage goes up and up and up. And it's never zero. That's why we always confirm things that are done. So while it's doing that, let's go ahead and look at the game. All right, so this looks great. Let's go ahead and refresh. 2-player. Looks great. Let's refresh again. I don't see anything funky. We have all 4 different types of tokens. We have different types of hexagons, which are randomly being placed on there. Oh, this is that the right one? Let's see, 19. Nope, these are old ones. Let's go ahead and remove that. Remove that. There's our rules. Let's go ahead and get the most recent version of the game. 2-player. Okay, I see a problem. We're missing one of our types of black tokens. We have water. We have wind, seed. We don't have, well, weed. We're missing water, wind, seed, grass. We're missing one. So let's find out which one that we're missing. Black tokens should be in here. Black tokens, we need 1 foot, 1 grass, 1 seed. Foot, I don't see foot. So we need to get that fixed as well. It's coding. While it's coding, here's the original action plan. Here's the saved action plan. Let's go here. This is the one that just verified. And this one, don't know what we were doing here. I'm going to ask it about that problem I saw. While we're, oh, it's already made it, so we'll do that in a moment. So let's get this code and let's ask if it's been implemented. Take a look at the newly modified file, compare it to your action plan. Were the changes made? Were any other extraneous changes made? We give it the new file. I just copied it, had it in clipboard, and pasted it after our little prompt. Every time the coder touches it, there's a possibility that it drifted. Pass, pass, pass. Looks good so far. Let's ask about it. Hit listen again.
I have audited the newly modified code against the Milestone 3 action plan. Link to milestone_3_refactor.md. The changes have been implemented accurately across all 4 targeted areas. Here is the detailed verification. 1. Logic correction. Grass combat. Rulebook page 11. Verification. Passed. The grass_select_tile handler now includes the required target.
Okay, so it's telling us it passed. That's great. No extra changes right here with the audit results, which is this last thing, which is the important thing.
Extraneous changes. Audit result, no extraneous code logic was added. The only extra additions are descriptive comments, example // reusable movement helper and // grass, combat, corrected, which serve to document the refactor for future milestones. The safety requirements, manual null checks instead of optional chaining for Babel compatibility, were maintained throughout. Summary, the file is now fully compliant with the Milestone 3 action plan and ready for Phase 5, map modification, development.
Okay, so I have a question about the file. I'm noticing that it's missing a black a black token, and it changed the black token. In the game, there's 6 unique black tokens. I'm noticing 2 grass tokens. One of those tokens should be a foot token. Do you notice that? Okay, so it's going to work on that. Let's go ahead and get him. Of course, I'm absolutely right. I know what I'm talking about, bro.
You are absolutely right. I see exactly where the logic deviated from the rules in the generate game data function. In the newly modified code, and the previous phase 3 still.html, the pool of black tokens is being doubled, which allows for duplicates, like 2 grass tokens, and the potential exclusion of others, like the foot token. I have updated the Milestone 3 action plan to include this critical correction in a new section, Section 5. Observations on your file. The culprit, line 170, in the latest version, has const starter tokens equals, action_icons, action_icons. By doubling the array, the sort and slice operations can randomly pull 2 grass icons and leave the foot icon in the unused portion of the array. Extraneous changes, I didn't see any other logic added that wasn't requested, but this token pool bug would definitely break the game balance if not fixed, as the foot action, map expansion, is required to progress the board. You should point Dakota to Section 5 of the updated plan to fix the double grass/missing foot issue.
Make me an action plan for the coder along with any little small sections of code. Do not write all the code, like meaning the complete file, but write the sections of code that it will need to implement to fix this. Write me the action plan in Canvas so I can copy and paste it. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get this version, because that's the latest version it's going to modify. So we're going to copy it. You can hit share, copy contents. I just put Control A and Control C for copy. We've got our little WordPad document. Paste a new one. Save it. It's saved as 20. Let me go ahead and put this where it goes. Which is there and there. We are on, I don't know why I'm calling phase or milestone, so I'm going to call it milestone 3 or MIL. This is the current file we're working on. So now that we have milestone 3 there, let's go ahead and get rid of that version. Go ahead and open up milestone 3. There's our game. See, there's 2 waters in this one. The last one was 2 grass. It just happened to be grass last time. Here's the action plan. So we're going to get a new coder because we don't want to have any context drift. It'll only know the new files. So latest file there. For it to have context, we'll go ahead and give it the rulebook. It probably doesn't need the action plan, the original action plan that had lists out the milestones that we're trying to get it through. And then we'll give it, we don't need to give it the code. Oh, we needed to give it this. Control A, Control C, or copy contents. Paste that here. Make sure canvas is open. And then we'll let it do its thing. Now, looking at the game, it doesn't understand the correct order of phases. So when we're looking at the game, let's go ahead and do a two-player. Oops, a two-player. Reset, two-player, start game. So we'll go through phase one is us, which is called dispense. We're going to send out cubes. We have 3 dispense actions. Basically, imagine you have a hand of cards. You have a deck of cards that are shuffled. You draw your first card, and it has the name of one of these black icons. They're not black in this game, but in the real game, they're black. But you have these little circle tokens. These are grass. Okay, so these need to be fixed to where, when you draw a card, it'll say either water, weed, grass, wind, or foot. And then you dispense 4, and then you draw a new card, and then you'll dispense 2. Then you draw a card, and you dispense 1. In a 3-player game, I believe you dispense 2 in phase 1 for the second part of your action. But let's look at the rules. Right here. Cool. Right here. No, it's dispense 3 or 4. We need to, in a 2-player game, we need to see on the dispense action the first time. Play the game, change the round, manipulate, and then we go to dispense, step 1, 3 in a 4-player game. So we got to test that 3 in a 4-player game. We also need to fix, it's got the starting token screwed up here. This start token should be right there. It should be this first token, not the second token, which is really weird. So it's a little screwed up, so we'll need to fix all of that. Anyway, when we are going to reveal an action disk, this allows us to let me redo this. Hold on. Reset. It's acting really weird. So there. Oh, no, I was in the second. Okay, so this is correct. Start. Next, we'll go here. It's moving the start token over, so we'll need to fix that. Reveal the first action disk. Weed. We can place 4 here. It's not telling me how many tokens I'm playing. Oh, here we go. Action. Click a valid place. Go here. Send 4. Reveal. We should send 3 to one of these. 2. And reveal foot. There is no foot, so we skip and lose 1. Next one is foot. Skip and lose victory points. This one goes 2, so we'll place here. Reveal. And there is no foot, so we lose 1 victory point. Okay. Okay, so these are supposed to be a deck, and it's maybe this is just for scoring purposes. Let's go ahead and reset and look at that 4-player if it's doing 3 in the first round. It's set up for a 4, which is cool. Start game. Reveal. This should be sending 3. So grass, it's sending 4. So we need to fix that. So the token's moving, and I also noticed that it doesn't include the 4-player rules for placing cubes. Okay, this is still coding, so great. It's almost done. So let's give it a few moments and then we'll try to fix it. We need to verify that this gets fixed. We'll, of course, test it ourselves. Also, we'll look and see if any new code got added that we didn't want. Hopefully, it'll get done pretty soon. Oh, got signed out. So, what does that mean for us? Hopefully, it finished the code. We'll see. It looks like it finished it. I see 4 different ones. We'll refresh it. I mean, the 6 different ones. Same 6. Yeah, I don't see any extra ones, so that looks good. It looks like it was done correctly. We timed out, which means this thing is getting awfully big. Let's go over here. Here's the modified code. Take a look against the action plan and make sure that it was done correctly. Let me know if it passes and where it failed and if it added any code that we didn't want or request. While we're doing that, we'll go ahead and start a new coder. Let's go ahead and get Canvas ready. It's taking a look. We've got some new problems we need to address.
I have analyzed the provided engine code against the Milestone 3 action plan in the Canvas and completed a full audit of the implementation. We have a successful update. All 5 critical refinement points were implemented with precision, adhering to both the logic requirements and the technical constraints of the project. Audit report. January 26, 5:29 p.m. Everything is correctly implemented. The double grass issue is resolved, the foot token is back in the pool, and the combat logic now strictly follows the Rulebook 2.0 requirements. We are ready to move on to Milestone 4, map modification and cleanup whenever you are ready.
I noticed some problems in this version. They were also problems that I noticed before. The game is it's moving the start white token as the game progresses, and that's not supposed to be the case. The start white token is stationary, and then that's a grass token, and it's also a start token. It doesn't rotate, but it's having the start token rotate clockwise to each vertice of the hex as the turn progresses. Also, I noticed that in the 4-player game, it's not dispensing 3 to start with. It's dispensing 4. If you look at the rules for a 4-player game, it's slightly different. It dispenses 3 cubes instead of 4 in the first dispensatory part of the action. Can you take a look at the code for me? Okay, so while we were doing that, I just realized something. I didn't have that code saved, so hopefully it's there. If it's not, we'll have to find it again. So we'll go here. Let's see if this is the version that no, see, this is an older version. See how it's got 2 grass? But I know that I gave this AI in a prompt, which is, not good. I didn't tell it, do not code. So let's copy our old prompt, just in case. We're going to delete it, and it should have it in memory. You are not allowed to code. I have a coder. When you code, you waste our resources. Your job is only to make action plans to fix any kind of problems. I repeat, do not code unless they're little small snippets that we're going to give to a coder to do the full document. Okay, so we need to go back here where I prompted. Here's the modified code. It starts here. Hopefully I can copy it and put it in our web pad so we don't lose it, and save it and give it to the coder so they can modify it. Oops. Okay, I'm going to go to the parentheses, copy. Let's see if we got it all. Looks good. Let's refresh just in case. Looks good. What I'm looking for is to make sure all these outside tokens are different, and they are. So let's go ahead and save this. Rename it. This, of course, would be a lot easier if I didn't. I think I'll just do a side thing and fix this WordPad thing here in a minute. Maybe we'll make that. This is part 4, so maybe in part 5, that's what we'll do. Mill 3. Okay, awesome. Let's go to the coder. We're going to start with the new coder. We're going to upload, remember, the rules for one, the code that they're going to be modifying. Change this to Canvas, never forget that. Upload as well the action plan, and then the instructions. This action plan is probably too much information. We'll just have the rules and the file and then the new action plan, and allow it to generate. Oops, I screwed up. Yeah, I screwed up. All right, so we need to do that all over again. What I did is I backed up. I went backwards instead of like refreshing or anything. Code. So we did the rules, the code, now the plan, turn on Canvas. See, I'm not getting a thing to send it. Let's go ahead and refresh. Try this again. Conflict of plant rules. Paste in the prompt. Make sure Canvas is open. It doesn't want me to send it for some reason. I don't know what's going on. Let's go ahead and just start all over and see if we can get it to work. Upload the file, the PDF. It's that PDF that it's might be having a hard time Oh, see how it's like not uploading? That's what it was. It's taking a while to upload my PDF for some reason. We could probably get away with not doing it, but I'd like it to have context. Oh, we forgot to do canvas. This is the coder. What do we have here? Milestones, verifier / person making the actions. Code is being generated. While it's generating, I noticed something. So we'll go ahead and start a new prompt. We're going to give it the current game, and we're going to give it the rules, and then we're going to talk about the actual phases. And we're going to give it our milestone plan, our action plan. And we're going to tell it what we're going to do. You'll see what I'm trying to do here. I've uploaded the game I'm working on, the rules that created the game, along with the action plan that we're using to get said game built in HTML. We are currently on milestone 3 if you look at our action plan. I'm noticing that it doesn't adhere, the game doesn't adhere currently to the action phase correctly, meaning dispense it has correctly, but after dispense we go to phase 4, which is player actions. And the way the actions work is player 1 does his action, then player 2 does their action, then player 3, and then player 4, just depending on how many players you have, and then player 1 does their second action. So dispense, they do all their dispenses, and it's broken up into 3 sub phases. Then they go to the 4th phase, which is player actions. In the 4th phase, I take a single sub action, and then the turn rotates clockwise, and everybody takes a single sub action. We're going to take 3 sub actions, and they're going to rotate around, where everybody's going to do 1, and then the next player, and then the next player, and then I'll do 2, and then all the other players will complete their 2, and then we'll do 3, and then all the other players will do 3. I don't think that the AI understood that, but maybe I don't understand that that'll be implemented later. We take a look at the rules, and then tell me if you think I should try to implement that sooner than later or wait till the end in a different milestone. Also, do not write any code. Me and you are just analyzing this and talking about this. Send that. Check out the code. There was an error. Let's go ahead and have it fix the error. Let's go back here, and we'll be talking about our game that we're working on, and see if it understands the phase 4 and how to break it down, and if we need to start working on the code for that. And if we do, we'll do that next. All right, let's go ahead and open Canvas just in case we need it.
This is a crucial observation. You are absolutely correct about the rules, and your analysis of the turn structure difference between Phase 3 and Phase 4 is spot on. Here is the breakdown of the rules, how your current code handles it, and my recommendation on when to address it. 1. Rule verification. You are correct. The rulebook explicitly distinguishes the flow of Phase 3 and Phase 4. Phase 3, dispense, is sequential. The first player will complete all 3 steps. Then the next player completes all 3 steps. Flow, player A, step 1, 2, 3, right arrow player B, step 1, 2, 3. Phase 4, player actions, is interleaved, round robin, player 1, places it, for player action 1. Remaining players, in turn order, complete the same steps, to complete their player action 1. Once each player has completed their player action 1, play proceeds to the player action 2. Flow, player A, action 1, right arrow player B, action 1, right arrow player A, action 2, right arrow player B, Action 2. 2. Code analysis. Milestone 3 current state. I reviewed the mil3 HTML file you uploaded. Interestingly, the logic for the interleaved structure is actually already present in your next turn phase 4 function, though it might not be behaving exactly as you expect during complex actions. Here is the logic found in your file. Phase 3, dispense, inside handle action, reveal_disk. The code checks if next step greater than 3. If true, it moves to the next player. This correctly implements the sequential flow. Player A finishes everything, then player B starts. Phase 4, actions. Look at the next turn phase 4 function in your code. It calculates let next index equals current index plus 1, moving to the immediate next player. It checks if next index greater than equals current state, turn order, length. Only when the index loops back to 0 does it increment next action round. The verdict: your code attempts to implement the correct interleaved rule for phase 4. It passes the turn to the next player after a single action, rather than letting one player do all 3 actions. However, the issue likely lies in multi-step actions, water, wind, in actions like water, which has subphases water_move_opp_1 then water_move_opp_2. You must ensure the turn does not pass to the next player until the current player has finished all substeps of that single action. If the code calls next turn phase 4 too early, e.g., after moving just one cube in a multi-move action, it will break the game flow. 3. Recommendation: now or later. Advice: fix and perfect this now. Milestone 3. Do not wait until the end. Here is why. Core architecture. Milestone 3 is titled.
Okay, so let's give it instructions. I get the gist of what it's saying. I would like you to write instructions for another AI, which is going to be a project manager. They're going to analyze the code, and their job is to write snippets of code that will then in turn be passed to a engineer or a coder, and they'll actually code it. So what I want you to do is write me something in Canvas that tells our concerns to an AI and what's not, what to be worried about, and to make sure that this is implemented correctly, and for it to go ahead and write an action plan for a coder to fix the game if anything needs to be done. Period. Now, do not write any code. Just write me instructions for the project manager AI. Okay, so we have the code that we asked a while ago to get made. Let's go ahead and get the contents, the code, and let's go ahead and ask if the changes have been made. Now, we did branch off and do a little side quest. I'm worried about the phase thing, and that's what the other AI is working on. Here we're going to fix this white token visual feedback problem. And the 4-player issue that we talked about earlier. Here's the modified code. Compare it to your action plan and the earlier version of the code. Make sure that, and let me know if the code was actually changed and no other extraneous code was changed. Parentheses, paste the code in there. Let's see what the verifier says. Partial pass. Not good. Okay, with this partial pass, we can have it fix the current code, which I think I'm going to do, or we could assign a new coder and give it the game and have them execute it, and they might do it right that time. But what we'll do is we'll just keep this code.
I have audited the conflict of plants. Engine refined v2 code provided against the link to engine_rules_hotfix.md action plan and the official rules 2.0. Summary: partial pass, partial fail. While the coders successfully implemented the stationary token logic and the 4-player dispense count, they introduced several critical regressions and extraneous logic changes that will soft lock the game.
Oh, don't like it.
Specifically, the action naming convention was changed, meaning players can select an action but cannot click tiles to execute it. Critical issues and regressions. 1. Sub-phase string regression.
I'm disregarding that code because they didn't adhere strictly to the action plan. They changed other stuff they shouldn't have. So let's go ahead and act like that code was never made. Okay, we're going to go here. We're going to copy the last thing we asked the coder to do. We're going to start all over. Get a new coder, basically start a new prompt. Upload the rules. Upload the code. We probably don't need the rules, but just in case. We're going to tell it not to do any other changes. I need you to fix this code that I provided. I provided you also with the rules of the game so that you would have context. I'm going to give you instructions on what I need done. Please do not make any other changes. Only the changes provided. Add it to the code, fix what the action plan says, and only that alone. Okay, and then we'll paste the action plan there. Make sure to open Canvas. We're here. Basically, it understands.
Understand. We are disregarding the recent incorrect code version and reverting our focus to the baseline of phase 3 still.html. Our goal is to fix the stationary token logic, the 4-player dispense count, and the visual feedback for face-down tokens, all while strictly adhering to the engine rules hotfix requirements without introducing extraneous changes. I will provide the necessary instructions and logic snippets for your coder to apply these fixes to phase 3 still.html.
Okay, we'll go back to the original coder. It made a this thing here. Here's instructions designed to feed into the project manager, architect AI, blah, blah, blah. Please put this information in Canvas so I can easier copy it and paste it. Yeah, I totally misspoke there. Code going. It's making the next part after we fix this. This is the very next thing we'll work on. There it goes. Done. Code is ready. Copy the code. Here's the latest version of the code. Look at it against your instructions. Make sure that they were correctly implemented. Make sure nothing else was changed. Paste the new code in there. Hopefully we've got a pass. Fail. Cool. So that's a second fail. We'll go for a third fail.
I have audited the latest version of the code against the link to engine_rules_hotfix_v2.md action plan and compared it to the baseline phase 3 still. HTML. Summary. Fail. While the coders successfully implemented the specific fixes requested in the V2 plan, they introduced a major regression that breaks a core game mechanic. They also made several extraneous changes to the UI and logic that were not requested. Critical issues and regressions. 1. Foot action logic gutted, critical regression. The problem. In the foot_select_location handler, inside handle tile click, the coder deleted the entire corner generation loop.
I'm going to give you the original file for you to look at and see if I'm giving it a screwed up original file, and is that the problem? Or is the coder actually trying to manipulate our code without instructions to do so? Okay, so I'm worried that maybe I'm giving it a bad version. Let's see what we're looking at here. Ah, it's the original file is incorrect. Cool. Okay, so write a action plan to fix the things that need to be fixed in this file, because this is what I have, and also the new fixes in your action plan. Okay, so it's what I suspected. It had a corrupt version or a regressed version of the code, and so by giving it, it was always going to fail. We got a new action plan to fix everything. Hopefully this gets it. Let's go ahead and get a new coder. We're going to give it the rule book. We're going to give it the latest version of the code. Then we're going to give it the action plan. We're going to open Canvas, waiting for the PDF to upload. We probably don't need to give it the PDF. It probably doesn't need that context, but maybe. It acted weird when I sent it. Oh, crap. See this thing down here? It says fast. That's a problem. These are all on Pro. We were destined to fail. Switch that to Pro. It's not going to let me do that. So we need to switch to my other account real quick. Okay. That is the problem. That and the rules, as well as these. That's not what we want there, actually. Oh, we're here. Go ahead and close that one because we don't need it anymore. Do the action plan. Don't forget to open Canvas. Yeah, that was a major setback. For some reason, it's letting me use the Pro model here, but it's not letting me code over there. Since we have to wait till 6, whatever it said, let's go ahead and switch models here. We'll have this verify. in a moment. But we'll switch to a different account in case it's sending it to the fast model, and we don't want it to go to the fast model. We want it to go to the pro model. Watching paint dry. We'll have this one verify and see if anything was added. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully we're back on track. We definitely need to get rid of this and start in a different account. That way we still have tokens. Although it does show here that it's pro. Oh, no, see? Fast. That's the problem. Let's go ahead and what we're going to do is we're going to have it give us instructions to give to a verifier. And we're going to switch to a pro model. I don't trust it in the fast model. Please write me something in Canvas. Write me a document in Canvas with all the information of what we're looking for changes and compare it to the original. I'm going to give it to another verifier to make sure that nothing funky is changed and that the game works and has your changes, and also put in there the information for the other changes that need to stay the same. Or what am I telling you? That's wrong. Let's go and do a better prompt than that. Write me a document in Canvas to give to a verifier to look for all the things that need to have changed. Also, things that are things to look for so that the verifier can compare the original file and this modified file and to make sure that no other extraneous changes were made. All right, so hopefully we have it. Here's the code. It made a verifier deal. We're going to go and change accounts. We're going to we need to save this code. We'll go ahead and copy the contents. We'll go to our WordPad. We'll save this. Index 22. Paste it in the correct place. Then we'll go to here. We'll upload index 22. We'll have this. Actually, let's give it the original file. Here's my original file. I'm going to give you a modified version. Now I'll give you the instructions on verifying it because we had some changes that needed to be made to the file. We want to make sure that the file hasn't been changed outside of the scope that we wanted it to. So in other words, we're worried that the AI will hallucinate in new code or remove code that it's not supposed to be removed. Here's the original file. In a moment, I will give you the modified version. go ahead and get, oh, we've already got it saved, so we can upload it. We'll give it the modified version, and we'll also give it the instructions. Pass, 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 pass. Why is it coding? Let's go ahead and stop it. Delete that. See why it started to code. We don't want that.
I verified the modified file, index22.html, against your original mil3.html and the checklist. Verification report. Stationary white tokens, passed. The token shifting loop was successfully removed. The logic now correctly reveals the token at, round, 1%, 6 without moving it. 4-player dispense count, passed. The logic is 4-player. 3, 4 has been correctly implemented in both handle tile click and accept underscore penalty. Face down token visuals, passed. Face down white tokens now render with a distinct hashtag F8FAF color and GR label. Round progression, passed. The round counter now increments correctly when transitioning to phase 5. Extraneous code, passed. No dangerous syntax, like optional chaining, was found, and the topology logic for the foot action remains intact. Here is the verified, clean file.
Don't know why it started coding. I hate when it does that because it's just a waste of tokens. We already have the file. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's start tokens there. Great. Let's go through the game. Reveal a win. We'll put 4 there. Reveal a win. We'll put another 2 there. Weed. We'll put 1 in the polar region. Okay, the green player is going to put 4 there, and 2 there, and 1 there. Okay, blue player, let's say they decide to do, what was it, foot? They'll add that. Then the green player does foot as well. They do that. We'll just do the foot action for, it understands the turn order, which is great. Cool. That's the end of that, and we can restart the prototype. Everything seems cool. We'll try the 4-player version. That looks good. It's showing all of these, which is bad. It did do 3 for the first thing, so still a little bit of fixing we need to do before we go on to the next milestone. So before we go further, let's go ahead and make this our most current version. WordPad. No, we don't. We've already got it in the game. We just need to delete the old mil3. Rename this one. Let's go ahead and close that. All right, so we have that. There's our milestones. There's our rulebook. There's our web pad. I don't think we need that right now. This is our verifier. That was the other verifier. Let's go to this one. Do not generate code. Period. Always only generate what I tell you, but never generate the full document. Only generate snippets for a dedicated coder. Okay, we'll do that first for our instructions. I didn't need it to do that. Okay, I'm going to give you the code that I'm currently looking at. We'll call that the game, and we'll always be modifying the current game. So, take a look at the code. Also, take a look at the rules. It's implementing the white tokens incorrectly. I need to make sure that you and I are on the same page on how these white tokens should be used and how they should act in the game, because they're not acting correctly. I'll also give you the current action plan. We're on milestone 3, I believe, trying to... We might be on milestone 4. No, we're out finishing milestone 3 so that we can do milestone 4. Milestone 3 is still incomplete. Let's me and you talk about the way the game should work with these white cubes so you have 100% understanding so that you can write an action plan to get them working correctly. Okay, so what we're going to do, give the current version of the game. We'll give the rules. We'll also upload the action plan. We'll wait for the PDF to finish uploading. I wonder why my up is so slow. Oh, probably because I'm streaming. Almost done. I'm going to go ahead and copy this. This is what I previously set as a prompt. I'm going to continue that prompt. Do not write an action plan. Do not write any code. I simply want to have a conversation with you. I want us to go back and forth to make sure we're 100% on the same page and understand how these white tokens should work so that we can write an action plan once I give you the instructions to do so. What I had done is I had copied my prompt, put it in the clipboard, and then finished the prompt, because once you stop talking, the microphone is not available anymore. So that's just my little workaround to make longer and longer sentences.
I've reviewed MIL3 HTML alongside the Conflict of Plants Rules 2.0, specifically pages 7 and 8. Here is my understanding of how the white tokens should work versus how they are currently implemented in your code. Please confirm if this alignment is correct before we proceed to any action plans. 1. Movement versus stationary, critical fix, current code, MIL3 HTML, in advance_phase_1. The code physically rotates the tokens around the central tile, shifting them from index 0 to 1, etc. Official rules, page 7. Remember, white tokens cannot be moved or swapped to another place. My understanding: the white tokens must never move from their initial vertex. Instead of rotating the tokens, we should simply rotate our attention to the next vertex clockwise, index 1 for round 2, index 2 for round 3, etc., and flip that specific token face up. 2. Face down behavior, the grass default current code. The code initializes them face down but tracks their hidden identity immediately. Official rules, page 7. The backside of these tokens are a grass icon. My understanding: when a white token is face down, it effectively acts as a generic grass icon for game logic, dispense phase matching. When flipped up, it reveals its true identity, key, x2, x3, weed, etc. Question: do you want face-down white tokens to be valid targets for grass dispense actions in Phase 3? The rules imply yes, as they show grass on the back. 3. The key token current code has a flag unlocks conflict. True. Official rules, page 8. This icon also tells the players that they are now allowed to place player cubes on the conflict tile. My understanding: the central conflict tile, 0, 0, is locked, invalid for placement, during rounds 1 to 6 unless the white token revealed for that round, or a previous round, is the key. Once the key is revealed, the central tile becomes valid for the rest of the game. 4. Manipulation phase immunity. Current code: the validator is valid swap target checks, corner, token, is white. Official rules, page 8. Choose 2 non-white tokens, and swap them. My understanding: this is currently correct in your code. White tokens can never be swapped by the dice roll in Phase 2. Summary of alignment: if we are on the same page, the action plan, when requested, will focus heavily on Phase 1, change round, to stop the rotation loop and ensure the key logic unlocks the center tile correctly. Does this match your understanding of the rules?
Let's see, there was something funky here about the, it was here, I think. I think it was here. Let's see.
My understanding: when a white token is face down, it effectively acts as a generic grass icon for game logic, dispense phase matching. When flipped up, it reveals its true identity, key, x2, x3, weed, etc. Question: do you want face down white tokens to be valid targets for grass dispense actions in Phase 3? The rules imply yes, as they show grass on the back.
No, I think it was this one.
My understanding: the white tokens must never move from their initial vertex. Instead of rotating the tokens, we should simply rotate our attention to the next vertex clockwise, index 1 for round 2, index 2 for round 3, etc., and flip that specific token face up.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure that you 100% get it as far as how the tokens go. So initially there's one token that's always in the first starting space, and it's a grass. There are, I believe, let me see. There are 5 other tokens which go clockwise from there. At the beginning of round 2, we'll be flipping over the next grass token to reveal what it shows underneath. That'll be the new valid version of that target. Of that token. If a key ever comes up, that allows the center hex to be valid to dispense to. Also, the grass that surround the conflict tile, those are valid grass for dispense. The only place that you're not allowed to play is in the conflict tile or any tile that's not touching the grass. Let's look at the rules. And that's correct. See, grass, 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 grass across here. Hopefully it doesn't start coding. That'll piss me off so much. Okay, it didn't write code, which is good.
Thanks for clarifying. It sounds like we are very close, but I've spotted one specific logic disconnect in the current code based on your explanation regarding the face-down tokens. Please check if this revised understanding is 100% correct. Stationary and rotational reveal. You are absolutely right. The white tokens never move from their corners. Round 1. Index 0 is face up. Start, grass. Indices 1 to 5 are face down. Round 2. We look at index 1, clockwise, and flip it face up. Round 3. Flip index 2, and so on. The face down rule, critical fix. My current code currently treats face down tokens as invalid, blank. Your rule. You said the tokens surrounding the conflict tile are valid grass for dispense. Conclusion. When a white token is face down, it must count as a grass icon. This
That's
means
right.
in round 1, if you play a grass action disc, you can place cubes on the map tiles touching those face down tokens. The key rule. The conflict tile, center hex, is strictly locked, cannot place cubes there, even if it touches a grass token, until a key token is revealed. Once the key is face up, the center hex becomes valid for placement, assuming you have a matching icon to play. Is point number 2 correct? Should the game engine treat those 5 face-down tokens as valid grass icons immediately in round 1? If yes, I will ensure the action plan includes removing the code that blocks interaction with face-down tokens.
Okay, so let's answer its question, which was, should the game engine treat those 5 face-down tokens as valid grass icons immediately? Yes. On your question, yes. The game should automatically look at those face-down tokens as grass from the initial round 1. Also, I think you understand it, but let's talk about how the setup works. The setup works where you have, basically, if you look at those tokens as a deck, there are more tokens, obviously, than places that those tokens can go. So they're shuffled, and then they're randomly, those 5 places are filled, outside of the starting token, that's the 6th token. So basically you have a deck, shuffle the deck, randomly place the 5 tokens face down. The backside shows grass. Those get turned over. They also basically act as round counters to the end of the game. And everything else I think you got correctly.
Thank you. That clears up everything. I now have a 100% complete understanding of the setup and execution rules.
Make me an action plan to give to the coder, along with any little snippets of code that they might need to fix the current game. Write the action plan in Canvas so I can copy and paste it. Okay, so now that we're on the same page, I think we're both doing this right. We'll have an action plan that we can give a coder. Let's go ahead and start a new coder. We're not going to give it the rule book. We're only going to give it the game. That'll speed it up some. Here's the action plan. Make sure to open Canvas. Let's send it. Let's let it do its thing. I'm going to have an outside AI verify the changes. So write me an action plan for the verifier AI, what it should look for, and what the changes should be, and what changes to likely look for that shouldn't be changed. Basically, we're going to compare the original file to the new file and make sure no extra changes were made outside of the scope of what we want done. Basically, we're going to make an AI check the work. Verification. So let's go ahead and upload the original file. Here in a moment, I will upload a modified version of this original file. I will also give you instructions on how to verify that the changes were made to this original file by another coder and see if they did not introduce any new changes and that the changes that we requested were completed. Looks like it started the code and then all of a sudden had an issue.
Understood. I have access to mil3, HTML. Please provide the instructions and the original file, if mil3, HTML is the modified version, so I can verify that the requested changes were implemented correctly and that no unintended changes were introduced. If mil3, HTML is the original and you are about to upload the modified version, please go ahead. I am ready to review the code.
Okay, here's the game. We'll get the code. Mil3 is the original. I'm going to give you the modified version. After I upload the modified version, in the prompt, tell me that you're ready for the instructions. Now we'll copy the instructions. I know this seems like, this seems so boring, but imagine what it's like building a game in AI and being in that creative brain space, and then you're creating and doing these cool things, and the AI is adding and removing things as it wants, and you don't know exactly what's going on
I
because
have
you're not
received the modified
don't know how to
version of the
code.
code you pasted. I have performed a preliminary comparison between the original mil3, HTML and the modified code. I see some changes in the validation logic, treating face-down tokens as grass, and some potential missing logic in the handle tile click section regarding water and weed actions compared to the original. I am ready for your instructions on how to verify the changes.
Yeah, that's not good. It truncated some of my game, I think. Here in a moment, we're going to stop and then start all over. We'll stop, not start all over. We'll stop and do the next part. This video is already getting really long, and it's really boring, I'm sure, to watch this. At some point, I'm going to make a 30-minute video showing what to do. But the other thing I was saying earlier, imagine you're in creative mode and you're building a game using AI and you're having fun and you built this thing and you really like it. And then you realize at some point there was some good stuff there and it was removed without your knowledge. AI is really useful, but you have to realize what its tendencies, and its tendencies is to truncate code, add new code, remove code. So these are little checks and balances to make sure that we have our code still intact. And as you can see, we failed.
Here is the verification report comparing the original file, mil3, HTML, uploaded, against the new modified file, pasted in chat. Verification report, milestone 3.5. Status, fail. Logic implemented, mixed. Yes, the specific white token logic fixes, treating face-down tokens as grass in is valid interaction target and labeling them GR, are present in the new file. Yes, the central conflict tile locking logic, if ASCII, return false, is present. Regressions found, dispense phase logic, critical. The new file has removed the specific logic for 4-player dispense counts, is 4-player? 3 to 4, and point deductions. Original, calculated penalties and updated player supply, score. New file, reverted to a simple increment, new tiles, linked to tile.id, cubes, active player, ++, ignoring player supply limits and the specific dispense counts required by the rules. Phase 4 actions.
Okay, so it failed on multiple levels, like a critical failure. So what we did is we're going to try it again. We had another coder. We gave it the instructions that we gave the previous coder. So now that it has the original file and this, we are going to do this all over again. We'll get the verifier ready. Here is the original file. It's called mil3. In a moment, I'll give you the modified version, and then I'll ask you to wait for me to give you instructions. And then once I give you the instructions on how to verify, you'll compare the two and tell me what changes have been made. If any extra changes have been made, you'll have to let me know. See if the game regressed. Okay, we're starting to get into error territory, which means our file might be a little bit too big for it to code in one swap. We've got syntax errors. What we need to do, hopefully we'll get to I'm going to stop in about 5 minutes. So hopefully we'll get to a stable place. Otherwise, we're still dealing with trying to get these changes implemented. Let's look at the coder. It's ready. We're waiting for the code. It failed and it didn't get close to, like, look at all that it truncated out. It's over 1,000 lines and it's at 577. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the AI that gave us the instructions for the action plan. Let's go back to your original action plan for the white tokens. For some reason, the coder is not able to execute what you're asking for some reason. We need you to give it strict rules on not adding any code or removing any code outside of the scope of what we're asking it to do. Its job is only to code, basically copying the code that we give it from the original file and then adding the code snippet that you're adding. Make sure there's nothing else that's making it trip up, because basically we've had 2 failures in a row, and that usually means either the instructions are bad or the code is bad or the code is too large. So please write me another action plan and have it be very strict on what it can do. Okay, so let's do another coder. Upload the original file. Wait for the instructions. Okay, here's a stricter version. Hopefully it can do it. Make sure to open Canvas. Awesome. It's going a lot faster. That's a plus. Oh, it's in the fast mode. Stop. It's not correct. That's probably why it failed. This needs to be on Pro model. Yeah, we were doomed. Asking the fast model to code is a a really big issue. Just make sure that you're following which model that you're using and whatnot, because the faster model isn't great at coding. I mean, it's good at coding. You can get something simple done, but something that's getting this complex, you definitely want the Pro model. Otherwise, you'll have a bunch of regressions and stuff that we're dealing with now. Hopefully it gets this done pretty quick. Oh, let's look at the code section. Yeah, I was blown away. It was like, all of a sudden it just started like spitting out code a lot faster than I'm used to. I'm like, whoa. And that, of course, gave me the idea that, hey, wait a minute, something might be completely wrong here. And then, I looked over, and of course it's on the fast model instead of the Pro model. I have a friend who has a game that's about horse racing. I would really like to get him to try to use AI to make a whatchamacallit version, a roguelike version of his game. That would be really cool. Eventually, I think I'm going to do that to this game, is make a roguelike Conflict of Plants. But this whole series was about trying to go PDF to web game. We've done some really cool stuff, but we're maybe 40% there, maybe 30, maybe more. I don't know. But this is going to be a lot more promising than what we had. All right, it looks like it's done. Oh, it's rewriting it again? I don't know why it's writing it again. it was done. Interesting. Hopefully it doesn't screw this up. The way that I see this um, AI thing is, I use it to bounce ideas off of. I use it to convert an HTML to a game. I use it to build games in. I use it to experiment with just little simple ideas. I have it prototype it, and then I kind of just screw around with it. Um, I also use it for advice on um, what direction to go with certain projects. So the known, what is it? Dark Senate. I do not play D&D. I haven't played D&D probably in 30 years or 20 years or whatever it was. It I liked D&D. I preferred GURPS because I was not into the actual D&D part. I was into the combat section, and I loved the GURPS combat. Um yeah, I'm just not into it. I'm a board game guy and board game designer kind of guy. And so I'm into whenever I say that, it's mostly mechanical and themes. I'm about economic themes and stuff like that. So there's nothing in D&D that really entices me. If I can get 5 people together, we're playing a board game, and we're playing a hardcore board game like an 18xx or something, some train financial thing. But that's just my preference. A lot of my friends do play D&D, and they know that not to invite me because I'm going to say no. Okay, so we had an issue there. It's probably too big of a file. Let's go ahead and try it again and see what happens. Unfortunately, it timed out on us. I'm guessing because we want complex stuff done, and it's having to deal with the whole file at one time. We're probably going to need to refactor it and make it into smaller chunks. And if we do that, we'll do it in the next video. Let's just see if it pulls it off, great. If it fails, we'll stop the video there, take a 5-10 minute break, and then come back and then refactor. Um, I wouldn't call it, well, okay, the only stern part is I don't like as the older you get, the less you want to waste your time, I guess is what I want to put it. And I say waste because no, it's not a waste. Playing board games and playing D&D is not a waste. The waste is doing things you don't want to do. I don't like acting. I don't like playing through. I don't like um I don't like the back and forth except for the combat. Um which is more to the game set. So like I quit Magic the Gathering, and I used to play it a lot back in the day, and I just like got out of all the games that I decided that were not exactly what I wanted to do. So I figured out board games are what I want to do. And so I stayed with that. Um I experimented a lot with D&D and role playing, and I figured out it wasn't my cup of tea. I don't like immersion when it comes to like fantasy and stuff. I like watching fantasy, but I don't like to be part of it, I guess. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just, I would rather, the games that I play, I'd rather sit there and uh, look at basically an Excel document looking at financial stuff versus going um, into a fantasy bar finding your next quest, possibly going on side quests, backstabbing people, or whatever you're, or staying true to your character, or whatever. I just never really. It's hard to quantify points, and I'm all about competitiveness and points, and so I could never really get into it. I guess we have a game here. Looks great. Let's go ahead and get the code. Let's take it to the verifier, which is this one. This AI, we're going to paste it. Oops, no, we're not. We're going to prompt it. Here is the modified version. I'm just going to paste it in the prompt. Once you compare them, wait for my instructions on what we're exactly looking for. So I pasted it in there along with my instructions on verification. Oh, no, I haven't given the instructions. The instructions are over here. Copy that. Oh, we need to give it verification. Now that we have the new instructions for the coder, is it possible to use the old verification, or do we need a new verification plan? Or do we use the verification plan you just made a few moments ago? Let's wait and see. All right, so we get a new verification plan. I wonder how you would use AI in new, interesting ways outside of, the common way you would use it for Dungeons and Dragons. I would assume with Dungeons and Dragons, if I was new to AI, what I would do would be to help it with math. I mean, to help me with math, to help world building, research, obviously. But I wonder what new directions you could take it. I don't really play D&D, and I would have to get in that mindset. But I mean, since AI can do so much. Oh, it's approved. Awesome. Let's listen. Let's listen.
Verification report. Strict code injection check. Objective. Verify that the coder followed the strict action plan to the letter for milestone 3.5. Input files, mil3, HTML, original, milestone 3_verified, HTML, the coder's new output. 1. The exact match, check, the change, instruction. Search the new file for the phase 3 validation block inside is valid interaction target. Requirement. The code must include the specific logic for locking the conflict tile based on the white key and treating face-down white tokens as grass. Result. The block matches the requested snippet exactly. Conflict tile locking. If tile type == region_types conflict is present. Face-down logic. If corner token is white and n corner token face-up effective match type = grass is present. X pass. The code block matches the snippet exactly. 2. The do not touch check, the safety net instruction. Ensure specific existing features were not modified or removed. A. Visual feedback for face-down tokens. Search for label =gr inside hex renderer. Result. The line exists inside the if t.
Okay, so that's just going to the technical stuff. It approved it. Here's the game. I saved it in our web pad. I went ahead and opened it. That's a different version. So we opened it. We're just going to check it out. It's got it so grass, it can go anywhere. We can't go in the center. That's good. There, great. Reveal the next one. Weed. There's only one weed tile, which is this one. So these two are highlighted white. Great. Reveal another weed, so we'll place that single there. This guy, which is grass, so I can place it anywhere. We've got 4, so we're going to place it there for the green player. It has a weed, which is here for 2. And we have another weed, so boom, great. Let's see if we ended up doing the foot action and we want to go there. Great. Let's try one of these other actions. Eventually I'll add tooltips for that. So let's look at the actions themselves real quick. Actions, which ones we want to do? Grass. This is the combat action. This action allows a player to select a tile. And it basically combat, the aggressor gets the first strike, so they'll kill one, and then we'll remove one from each. So if it is green player's turn, they can grass here, which that's perfect because it was 4-4. They attack first. It was 3-4 in green's favor. Then we remove one from each, and then one from each, and one from each until there's only one remaining. That worked. Great. Blue player didn't like that. Let's say he also played a grass here. Boom, down to 1. Green player, let's say they want to add a token. I think it's seedling. This allows the player to place a token of a player, place one of their cubes on any legal tile. Boom, that's it placing. And then next, the yellow player may choose a grass land region. Oh no, this is what he did. So placed one here. What do we do here? The player then selects any tile with a weed icon abutting it, meaning next to it. Oh, a tile with a weed. This one had a weed in it. Player does not need to have a cube present in the chosen tile. This is scored for minority. Okay, so let's go here. We are the green player. Green player, the weeds here, so they wouldn't make any points. So there's no point in doing that. We could do water maybe. What does water do? Water allows a player. This action allows the player to select a cube belonging to another player and move it to an adjacent tile. The player does this 2 times in total. So we're going to get this. We're going to play, that was water. So green's going to play water for them. Going to move that there. And then they're going to, that's going to be the rest of their turn. Everything looks great so far. We're going to go water. We're going to move them there, and then we're going to move them there. And then we're going to go to the blue player. Oh, that's it, I think. Green player, it's their turn. The green player wants new. Oh, green player's there, so we're going to do, what was it? It was seedling. We're going to add one here, and then we're going to score that one. Then it restarts the round 2. Great. I think we got everything going, so we'll go ahead and stop our video there, give it some time, and then we'll come back. How do you turn this damn thing off?